Indian historian Murad Ali Baig explains why the Mughal Empire heritage is still so vibrant in India. Established in the 16th century, it dissolved in the 19th century with British colonization, but its cultural legacy passed the test of time.
After 1857, the British tried to destroy the Mughal heritage completely, but it was more durable than that. And it's one of the two main reasons it survived was the fact that it had created a culture with a substantially Persian or Persianized language. You'll be surprised that even many of the accounts of great Indian Hindu heroes like Shivaji were written in a Persianized and written in Persian. So Persian was the court language because India's always needed a bridging language to unite so many different areas. I mean, the people of the Punjab or the Bengal or Tamil Nadu all have had different languages, and therefore the emperors or the rulers of India have always needed a bridging language. And Persian, as you know, was a very civilized language. So they created this heritage which has survived in terms of poetry, which is still recited in Delhi. The Islamic architecture, in fact, religion has nothing to do with it, but it really started before the Mughals with the Sultanate kings and the Lodhis and so on. And but they also were mainly relying on Persian architects and designers and planners, because Persia was the greatest civilization with more than 2,000 year pedigree from the time of Cyrus the Great. So therefore that heritage came through, and they brought some European influences, like for example the arch, the true arch with the keystone was very much a Roman technology which became a Persian technology, which became a Mughal technology. And one of the other things which was important in that was the use of lime mortar as a cementing material, as a concrete. And this was unknown before the Islamic period, and this again was one of the marks of the great Persian influence, which came to its apogee in the time of the Mughals, and especially in the time of Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal, which is perhaps the finest flower of that beautiful garden. You take the Humayuns Tomb, for example. Humayuns Tomb is a beautiful example of what later was recognized as being a prototype of the Taj Mahal. It is built in a particular set piece for garden. That means 4 blocks representing, as is shown in the Quran, the Garden of Paradise with the tomb of Humayun in the middle of it. It was the same design, of course, in white marble and not in red sandstone, which you see in the Taj Mahal on a larger scale. If the people want to preserve their old heritage, they do. But unfortunately, what happens in many parts of India, many parts of Delhi, is that land is valuable. So if I can get this piece of land, I'll build my house right here. So therefore, the public involvement in heritage is something that people must feel is important. At the moment, it's not. The second is that we have an archaeological survey of India, but it's a dog with very small teeth. The point is that if I do some damage to this building, the law is very strong, but who's to implement it? The various private groups like the Aga Khan Foundation have done a great deal of work. They've done a wonderful job in preserving the Humayuns Tomb, for example, and they've taken up a few other projects in Agra and elsewhere, which are very worthwhile. Now, therefore, there's also, now with media awareness, there's also more public participation. I think one important thing is that schools are taking more time. Earlier, people were not so worried about the monuments in the area. Now the schools are taken a greater interest in the monuments near them, making sure that it is well looked after, and the money for preservation goes to wherever it has to go.
Everybody should do their part to preserve these Mughal treasures so that they can remain India's silent neighbors for the generations to come.